The Secret Life of the American Teenager is just one of television's melodramas exploring adolescent angst.
Did you guys tell anyone what's going on with me?
No.
But the most famous teenager on that show is the 43-year-old woman who plays Mom, Molly Ringwald.
What's going on? Everyone else can turn 40. I'm Molly Ringwald. I'm so associated with being young and with being a teenager. And
You're not allowed to get old.
No, I can't turn 40.
Chronologically, you're 16 today. Physically, you're still 15.
In the 1980s, Molly Ringwald was the teenager, starring in a trilogy of classic coming-of-age movies.
I mean, was it odd to be an actual teenager going through the things that teenagers go through while you're playing the every teen?
It was pretty odd, and it was also it was a lot to go through. I mean, those movies really propelled me into pretty intense stardom at a pretty young age.
Today, Ringwald is a wife, mother, and author of a book, part advice manual for other 40-somethings, part memoir.
The book is very personal in parts, but on only one page do you talk about being a celebrity.
Oh, really? What page?
Page 90.
Ah. That's interesting.
Celebrity, it seems, was never part of the plan, her own or her family's.
I didn't have parents who were racing to get a reality television show, or looking to benefit in some way from their daughter's fame.
Da, 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 da. Sing a little bit of it,
No,
da, da, da.
I will not be entrapped.
Da, 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 da.
Nobody knows you when you're down and out.
She was just a 6-year-old kid who liked singing when she began performing with her father, jazz pianist Bob Ringwald, who's blind.
I always knew she was going to someday make it, and I said, someday I'll be known as Molly Ringwald's father.
If I ever get back on my feet again.
I think he's an amazing pianist, but when I think of my dad, I think of him as an amazing father. First and foremost, he, oh my God, this is embarrassing.
When you're down and out.
As I like to say, jazz music is kind of like my musical equivalent of comfort food. It's always where I go back to when I just want to feel sort of grounded.
Molly would often read out loud to her father, and soon started performing for a much larger audience on TV.
How are you, girls?
We're women, okay, Mr. Badley?
Sorry, Molly. I keep forgetting. You're a woman.
It wasn't long before writer-director John Hughes turned the kid into a star.
What do you think John Hughes saw in you?
A kindred spirit, I think. I think he liked my face.
Before they even met, Ringwald was his muse. Hughes had asked his agent for photos of promising young actresses.
And my headshot was among this giant stack that he received, and he put it up over his desk and wrote 16 Candles, basically over a weekend.
Hughes had an intense connection to his own adolescence.
He remembered his locker combination, which I always thought was really incredible.
His high school locker
His
combination?
high school locker combination he remembered. I don't remember my locker combination.
Hollywood's take on high school had never seemed so real, thanks to the girl at the center of it all.
Hey, birth defect! You missed breakfast again.
Wasn't my idea.
In 16 Candles, as the girl whose family forgets her birthday.
Excuse me, sir. I think there's been a mistake. I know it's detention, but I don't think I belong in here.
In the Breakfast Club, as the uptight preppy serving weekend detention.
What about prom?
Come on, why don't we just meet after school?
No! What about prom?
Andy, come on.
And in Pretty in Pink, as the working-class daughter who makes her own prom dress.
I kept everything from Pretty in Pink except for the dress because I disliked it so intensely. And of course, that is the thing that I would love to have now.
It's not so bad.
Well, it is kind of bad. It's kind of terrible, but it's so iconic now.
Right.
On-screen, Ringwald could be funny, pining, insecure. In other words, an ordinary teenager. The New Yorker's film critic was an early fan.
Pauline Kael wrote that you had a charismatic normality.
Yes. That always seemed like a backhanded compliment to me.
Really?
It kind of did when I first read it when I was a teenager, because you don't want to be considered normal when you're a teenager. You don't want to be normal. You want to be extraordinary.
The transition to adult roles was difficult for Ringwald. She turned down the leads in Ghost and Pretty Woman, and her career seemed to go into freefall. But her life did not.
I should have been a tragedy. I should have just exploded, you know, or imploded or something, or, you know, gotten involved in drugs or done something terrible. Or,
Yes,
you know,
the usual
I
Hollywood
don't know
script has the former teen star melting down at this point. But Ringwald was too, well, normal for that.
I just needed to leave Hollywood. I was living a life that I didn't really relate to.
So she moved to Paris, studied French, and dyed her famous red hair blonde.
You sort of performed an intervention on yourself.
In a way, yeah. I thought this is going to be my college education. I just felt like that's where I needed to be at that time. I've always just loved New York.
When she returned to the U.S., she settled in New York, acting mostly on stage. Then, over email, she was introduced by friends to Ponyo Giannopoulos.
I thought he was older than me. I thought he was kind of swarthy and short. For some reason, I thought he was going to be short.
Now, she thought that you were going to be short and hairy.
Yes. Yeah, she thought short, hairy, giant eyebrows, back hair. Yeah, it was a pretty flattering image she had in mind of me, yeah.
Did you know that her most important project now was a personal one.
I was very focused on having kids. It was sort of one of the sticking points in our relationship in the beginning.
And how did this focus manifest itself?
By me asking him when he was going to be ready to have kids, pretty much, on the second date.
I know why I've waited, know why I've been blue.
The couple married and have 3 children.
Miss Molly Ringwald.
These days, Ringwald is finding comfort once again in singing. A normal pleasure in the extraordinary life of America's former favorite teen.
Exactly like you.